Hey, what's up and welcome to this tutorial. My name is Mr. Poppo, and in this tutorial we are going to be taking a look on how to continue on creating this advanced logo animation part 3. Let's go! Alright, so in part 1 we learned how to create this one from scratch, we learned how to create this one from scratch, and in part 3 today we're going to be learning how to create this. Obviously I want to make this as fast as possible. I don't want to waste your time. If you want to know how to create the assets, you can just go back to part 1 and part 2 and learn that. If not, if you just want to learn the technique, then you're in the right place. So I've attached this time a proper file where you can go and start the tutorial with me or after this tutorial. So yeah, the file is called logo3 for the people, and let's roll. So the first thing I'm going to do is you're going to realize that I've attached the colors in case if you want to change the colors. So I've attached the colors, which we're not going to use for now. I have literally put everything that you need in this series. So let's go. So the first thing I want to do is, if you look at this again, so the first thing that happens is that it rotates. And since this is a global rotation, so we don't want to only rotate one part and then, again rotate the other part and then again rotate the other part and then again and again and again and again. So we just want to rotate one thing and then everything is just going to follow that one thing. So we don't have to repeat the keyframes and the process in it. We don't need to waste our time, and plus it's boring. And so I'm just going to create a new null object and I'm going to call this rotator. All right, I'm going to make sure that it's right in the center, and I think it's right in the center. And all I need to do right now is start one by one until I get there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the most important one, which is this one. So it's just a semicircle that we're going to just, just give it to the null object. And if I try to rotate the null object, obviously it's going to rotate with it. So that's exactly what I want. So that later on, if I want to rotate anything else, it'll be possible to do that without any worries. And if I just need to change the rotation, I could just change it in one place and it's going to change everything. And that's what you should look for, and that is one of the biggest points and highlights of this tutorial. It's that you have to find a workflow where you don't need to waste more time on things that you don't need to. And when you want to iterate on things, it has to be fast, and that's what you should strive for while working on motion graphics. All right, that pretty much said, let's go and try to animate this. So the first thing, of course, that I want to do is just animate this from here. And, my keyframes, always 20 frames. And I'm just going to say like 90 degrees so that it just, stops there. So we're going to have something like that. The speed is beautiful. It's very nice. It's so pro. It's master level. This is a piece of art. This is Instagram worthy and doable. Obviously, no, it's not. The speed is absolutely disgusting. So we need to change that. And how are we going to do this? Normally, I would go like this. If you know me, I would just go like this. And damn. Let's go. So if I try to do this, I think it's too abrupt. It's too sudden. It's not that really great of a speed. And it doesn't, most importantly, it's not that it's not great of a speed, but I think it's one of the things that you actually have to learn and always keep in mind whenever you're working on a piece of animation. It's that does it fit everything that you've done before? If it does, then yes. If it doesn't, then don't. I'm not talking about feet, I'm talking about fit. Does it go along with, if I have to use another word, does it go along with your other animations? Every single speed that I have here is like it slowly goes fast and then it slowly goes down. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just gonna, again, F9, select both my keyframes, put an F9, and I'm just gonna take this and just a bit, adjust it like this. And then I'm just going to take this one just a bit, adjust it like that. So just like that. And I'm gonna have a speed that goes at a, rhyme with it. Let's go. You see, it's not too sudden and it fits with the other animations. You see that? It feels like it. And that is another thing that you should learn. It's not only about how it looks, it's not only about how complex it is, how beautiful it is, but it also, does it feel okay? Does it fit the piece and art direction that you've done and the motion direction that you've chosen at first? All right, let's go. So that is done. One thing that I'm going to do now is go back to my other circle, which is the background circle. So this is what I have here. And right now, if I do this, yes, that's a problem. Okay? So what do we want to do here? So right here, what I could do is just go, and have it with this guy. So yeah, all I have to do right now is just go to link it to the rotator and it should be fine. Perfect. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to do something with the eye. So beach circle, and then we have semi E. And let's go to the eye. All right, so we have a little eye here. Okay, so what's going on with this eye? Nothing right now. But what we want is that we want it to go into the other side of the rotation, so that we can have a little bit of motion and we can have a little bit of things and stuff happening. Basically, that's what you're saying when you don't know what to say. So things and stuff, which actually doesn't really help anyone into knowing what I really mean. So yeah, I'm gonna start from there, from a minus 900. And instead of going to 90 or 280, I'm going to go to the other side. Like that. So this is what I have. Okay. Obviously, I'm just going to go select my keyframes, put an F9, and do something good. Just go here, like that, just like that. Should be fine. All right, let's go. Let's try with this speed. Perfect. Now all I need to do is just offset this a bit, because we want to have that little cool offset as always. All right, just one frame earlier would be good. Perfect. Okay, now the next thing I want to do, I just want to make a new ball, because I need to do that ball effect that comes up. So all I have to do right now is go to my colors, copy this, and I'm going to make a circle. Let's go. I'm going to change the color to the fill. I'm just going to go right in the center, make it super big like this. I'm going to call this yellow eye is the Illuminati. And I'm just going to go and put it back here. Cool. So right now what I need is something extremely simple. Scale from 0, and it has to go back 1, 2, 200. That's, very straightforward. And of course, my favorite speed. All right, cool. Let's go. So this is what we have right now. This is what we call in English fugly. So we're gonna try to make that even better. So I'm going to take this eye, I'm going to duplicate it, I'm going to put it in top of yellow eye, and I'm going to do an alpha lift. And that's it. Wait, what? Did I just see that? 0. Wait. Okay, cool. Alright, so all I need to do right now is just make this go a bit later. Alright, let's go. What is... Wait, what? Am I seeing things straight here? Wait, am I seeing things straight? What? Wait, what? Am I hallucinating or something? Wait, am I hallucinating or something? I don't... Why is it going that fast? Alright, perfect. So we've got our eye, and that's pretty cool. Alright, so the next thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna add a little purple eye. So what's gonna happen is I'm just gonna go here, I'm gonna grab my color, I'm gonna get something like this, and all I need to do is go and create a little circle, and that is gonna be it. So I'm just gonna go right in the center and just make sure that I have something like this. And just try to fill it up right there. And all I need to do to the circle is obviously just scale it. And that's literally what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna call this eye purple. And I'm just gonna go, bring up my scale, pressing S when selecting a layer, and 1, 2. Put up a keyframe, then I'm just gonna go up in the beginning and make this 0. And of course, I'm just gonna ease and go to the graph. Alright. Perfect. The only thing I need to do right now is just I need to scale this. Perfect. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, that's better. It's Gucci. I like it. Alright, the next thing that we're gonna do is just even more details to things. You see, this whole piece of art, this whole advanced logo animation series is about the things that you can add to your pieces and the offset that can add things and value to your animation. So we could just say like, hey, that's alright, but we could add even more details to make this look even, you know, more advanced, more complicated, and actually it's not. So I'm just gonna grab this color because that's what's gonna fit in with the purple. That's why I'm grabbing that color, and I'm just gonna go and make, I'm just gonna go at the last frame, I'm just gonna make a square somewhere around that, and I'm gonna make sure that I give it the color that I want. And increase the stroke to maybe, I don't know, 5. Let's go with 6 and say, okay, it's a deal. All right, it's a deal. So I'm gonna call this diamond. Shine bright like exactly a diamond. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go to rotate this like that. I'm just gonna scale it down around here. Okay, so I'm gonna bring scale. So I'm gonna press S and I'm gonna bring rotation. So rotation, Shift S to bring rotation and scale. Or you could just, you know, again, open this, go to transform, you have scale, and you have rotation. And you just press here to see your keyframes. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna go a bit like that, and I'm gonna say that it was 0 and it was 0. And I'm going to close with shortcut this. Or what you could do manually is bring all this guy here. All right. I don't normally say shortcuts in my tutorials because some people are using After Effects in Windows and some people are using it in Mac. So I don't like to spend time on that. Okay, so we got this, and all I need to do is select both keyframes, go back here, and just drag this little guy here. I'm pressing Control or Command on Mac to make it snap on the curve. Alright, and then I'm just going to bring this guy a bit earlier, just a little bit, and make sure that we can see it right at the end. Alright, cool. So this is what we have right now. More details of the animation. Cool. Alright, and I'm just going to bring this diamond on top of the diamond, so I know what I'm doing. Okay, cool. Then we are pretty much done with whatever that happens to the eye, and it's pretty cool. Yay! Let's go. The thing that I'm going to do right now is the trim circle. This one. So how are we going to animate this one? This is pretty interesting. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I can see that it is not rotating with the piece, and that's wrong. So I'm going to make it rotate with the piece. So I'm going to choose my rotator. All right, now it's way better. And by the way, the diamond, I think we could just, because we scale it down, so I think we just give it more. Perfect. Right. But what would be great, actually, is if this was actually a bit animated. So I'm just going to go inside my trim circle, frame path. So I have offset, and I have, you know, and start. So I'm just going to go here, and I'm just going to go right here. I'm just going to say that it's going to increase both like that. But then in the same time, I don't want it to go there. So I just want you to stay right in the center if you could. And I'm just going to take this. And I'm going to snap this whole baby right there. Cool. Let's see. Like it. The only problem that I have here is this one is a bit too late. So I'm just going to make it come earlier, if you know what I mean, because that's what she said. Cool. The next thing that we need to do right now is snake, I think. We've got a snake to do. Okay, so where's the snake here? So here's our snake. So it's that little thing that you can see here. So let me just bring this guy here. Now you are supposed to see him, or no you don't. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to go to rotation. I'm going to show it to you guys. And you still don't see him, because I still need to animate the frame path. Great. Okay. So the first thing that I want to do is, like, this is actually supposed to be, let me open it. And let's go to frame path. Okay. Alright, so now you see it. This is what it is. So it's just that. And alright, cool. But it starts at 0. So what I need to do to this is that start from here, and of course I want it to rotate with the rotator. So I'm just gonna go rotator. Okay, so I'm gonna start here. 1, 2. I'm gonna say it's gonna go like that. Because as you can see from the last piece, this has to be linked with that guy. So it just has to stop there. It doesn't have to fail at all. So it just has to link with that guy. So that's all we need to do. So I'm just going to make an F9. And I'm just going to make things come fast. Just like what she said. Alright, perfect. Now let me see this. Alright. Cool. Now I just need to put it where it belongs. Now let's see this again. Where it belongs. This is a semi-E, right? This is a trim circle. Not trim circle. Where is the snake? Come on. Okay. Let's go. Nice. Just that. I wanted to come a bit later, so we have everything in offset, which is pretty cool. Nice. That's just perfect. Thank you. Cool. The next thing that I need to do right now is I need to bring that little guy. What do we call that? The other part of the snake. So the other part of the snake, we're going to animate it using the path. So I'm just going to go inside. To go fast, I'm just going to type path. I'm going to go in. I'm going to put path. 1, 2. So it has to go from here. It has to go all the way here. Anyway, and arrives there, I want this to come back here. And that's it. That's all there is to it. So I'm just going to go and get this guy right here. Put an F9. Easy ease. Go inside the curve. Pretty easy stuff. Take them both again. And you go super fast. And you go super fast. That's it. So let's see all that. Zoom, boom. Zoom, boom. Zoom, boom. Exactly. Just that this little thing is actually disturbing me there. I'm not sure if it does disturb you guys, but it does to me. It's not perfect. So I'm just going to go into the trim circle. And I'm just going to change the last value of offset. So I'm just going to go over here. I'm just going to say like, Habibi, I love you, right there. Good. Nicer. Nicer. Perfect. All right. Now this effect circle is something pretty dumb, but it's good to add. You just have more details. It's just a circle that all that's gonna do, it's just gonna disappear. That's all. That's all there is to it. If you want to do an F9, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you want to do it fast or slow, do it. But I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. Alright, and if you want to do an F9, you can do it, and it's not going to change anything because it's just extra elements that you just add for details. And that's it. Alright, let's go. Now, the thing about this is that when this is coming, in the real piece, what I did was I added these little shadows here. Well, that we kind of covered in the previous part, but it doesn't really hurt to actually just go and do it again. So if you want to do that, it's pretty straightforward, and it's pretty easy. It's really easy actually. So I'm just gonna take that off. I don't need a stroke. I need a fill with this color. So I'm just gonna come here. I'm just gonna make a circle, just like that. Pretty straightforward. And all I need to do right now is go inside. It's an ellipse. I'm just gonna go here and make a repeater. And I'm gonna repeat it not 3 times, but I'm gonna repeat it 4 times. Perfect. And then I'm just going to repeat this repeater, not to be, not here, but actually here. And I'm going to repeat it like 8 times maybe. I think it's okay. Alright, so I'm just going to drag this and put it back here. And I think I'm going to end the opacity like that. And something else that we could do, I'm just going to go inside the repeater, the first one. I'm just going to make this guy just a little bit closer to each other. Just a little bit, not too much. Okay, I think that's pretty perfect. I'm just going to close this. I'm going to bring this back right at the bottom. Alright, and all I need to do right now is start animating that. So here, there are two things that I need to animate. I need to animate how many copies that's going to go up, and at the same time I think it's pretty big, so that's what she said, but we need to make it down. I'm going to go to copies 0, and then at the end, when this is going to end, it's going to be 8. And in the same time, I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this. I'm going to go inside my ellipse. Inside the ellipse size, I'm going to put a keyframe because I don't want to change the size of the layer. I just want to change the size of the ellipse so that when I change it, it actually changes all the other copies. So I'm going to say around 10. You see that? Or maybe even smaller. Let's just say 5. Perfect. I'm just going to take everything, F9, and just do it. Just do it. Select our keyframes. Alright. Perfect. Just gonna delay you a bit. Alright, let's go. Alright, cool. Now, the next thing that we need to do is a little purple ring. It's somewhere here. This one. So it's just a little ring that's just gonna come here to there. So to do that, I just set, because I don't want to animate position, I don't want to animate everything. So I just want to animate the scale. And to move scale and position in the same time, all you have to do is I put the anchor point here. But then when it's gonna scale, to 100%, it's going to be there because the anchor point of this is actually here. And even if I try to rotate this, as you can see, it rotates around the anchor point. So that's exactly what I want because I don't want to move it. And if I want to rotate it, I'll be able to rotate it without even having to worry about that. So again, the same thing, again and again and again and again. Nice. Now we're going to do the other ring, which is the blue ring. So it's exactly the same thing. So I'm just going to go in. I'm going to go in like that. And I'm just going to go to trim pad. And it should have a trim pad. That's why I don't see it. So if I go inside content, trim pad, I'm just going to put a keyframe. And then after 1, 2, it should become completely full. Nice. And it has the same thing. Let's go. But obviously it's too early for it. So I'm just going to take it and just push it somewhere a bit far. Like that. Nice. Next thing that I want to do is start to do, I have to find those 2 layers. But first we can actually do a bit of circle effects. It should be around there. So it's just an effect that circles that we've done in part 1, in part 2, and we're going to do in part 3 as well. Because as I said, it's following the same art direction. And it's just that effect, that circle, that actually pops up whenever an animation is done, as you can see, there's that yellow circle that pops up, or that, you know, this purple circle that just pops up. That's what we're going to do. So I'm just going to go here. So I just put it here. And we're going to do as we do every single circle. So we start with an opacity 100, but scale 0. And then we end it after 20 frames. We end it on an opacity 0, but then the scale is going to be 100. Not 10, but 100. Let's go. And we just take the scale and we make it come super fast. Just like always. Alright, let's see how it looks like now. Of course, the ring is taking too long to actually come. So that's what she said. That's really fast. Like the moment it touches, yeah. The moment it arrives, it should boom. Perfect. Now I'm gonna do exactly the same thing to the outer layer. So I'm gonna go scale, pop. I'm gonna go 1. I'll just make 100, and I'm just gonna drag it a bit like that. F9. Fast, just slow. So I'm trying to do a bit of differences here. So it's like that one disappear, but this one stays, because the piece is gonna end here. So I'm just gonna take this, put it back here. Nice. Now, the next thing that I need to do is the stream outer. So it starts like that. All right, so it starts like that. The first thing I need to see here is I need to make it rotate with the whole piece. So let's see how it looks like now. All right, so it's this thing here. But obviously what I want is this to actually grow into half and stays here. So I need to do that literally manually. So I'm just gonna go here. I'm gonna open the stream path. I'm gonna put keyframes here. Not on the start. Maybe the start as well. I'm just gonna go 1, 2. When it's gonna end. I'm just gonna say like, oh, it's gonna go all this way. But then I don't want it to be, yeah, all this way. But then I don't want it to be that. I want it to be like that. But then I don't want it to be here. I want it to be here. Cool. So I'm using the offset to actually move the stream path, the path completely around the circle until I find where I really need it to be. So I'm just going to take literally everything and just make it fast a bit. See that? That's it. So as you can see, it's pretty easy. Sometimes something could be really easy, but by doing a lot of it and just offsetting it, it makes things look more and more and more and more complicated. And actually they're not. And the reason why this is easy is because the way we set it up. I set up the workflow in a way that it is very easy to remember what this is and what that is. And now what we're going to do is we're going to rotate these 2 rings. So this is just rings that are actually going to rotate as well. So we have 2 of them. All right, one is here, one is here. So this one has to be here, and this one has to be there. So that's what I'm going to do. So let me start with the blue one first. So I'm just going to go to rotate. I'm going to put a keyframe. I'm going to go like 1, 2. and it has to come here. So I'm just going to do this. Right. And I'm just going to try to give it somehow the same speed as the rotator. Alright, but of course, it's gonna have a little bit of a delay. It's not gonna start first, because the rotation has to start first, and then that will follow. Alright, so that's what happens. It rotates and move there. When that thing is gonna hit it. Now I'm just gonna do somehow the same thing here. So it starts here. Can I see it? Okay, cool. And then it's gonna end here. Somewhere around here. So I'm not finishing it so that I can have a little bit of difference, and that's gonna add more value to my piece. And this time I just want to try this speed. And if I like this speed, I might just change it for the other one as well. No. It doesn't feel right with everything that's happening. So I'm just going to take this, I'm going to return it back to where it was. If not, I'm just going to drag this a bit. And I'm going to drag this a bit. Perfect. And I'm just going to make a little bit of a delay here. That's too much of a delay. Yeah, I like it this way. So that's perfect. Now, did we forget anything? Yes. We have one last thing to do. The ball. Okay, so what's going to happen to the ball? So it's going to start from here. It's going to be a position, maybe a rotation as well. But let's focus on position first. So at this point, it's going to go up. Jesus. Go down. Go down. Alright. You know what? I'm just going to drag you myself. Alright, it's going to go to the eye. Illuminati. And then from here, it's going to go here. Alright. That's it. Now all I need to do is just make it rotate with the movement. So I'm just going to go and put a rotation here. And then when it's going to go, well, while it's going here, I would say it's going like, it's going like this. And then after this, I'm just going to go like that. Okay. Alright, so all I need to do right now is just make it the same speed as I did the speed, as I did the position, and that's gonna be it. That's it. Hakuna Matata. I'm just gonna take this. I'm gonna make it fast. I'm just gonna take this. I'm gonna make it fast. Perfect. That's it. I think we're done. I think we are pretty done. Now the last thing we need to do is just do the noise. And for the noise, we can just bring from other sources because we don't want to recreate something that we've already done. So I'm just going to bring the noise from the other tutorials. I'm just going to place it there. And that's it. That's going to bring me this. Now that we finished this one, hold on, I'm just going to take this one. Now that we finished this one, the only thing I need to do is I'm just going to go to my final mix, and then I'm going to go to my tutorial files. Is it this one? Yeah, I think it's this one. So I'm just going to... Okay, so I'm just going to delete. I'm just going to delete this guy. Okay, I'm just going to bring my tutorial 3 here. Okay. So obviously I'm not going to start completely from the beginning, and I'm not going to need the end as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have something like this. Perfect. Now, if you remember from the other tutorial, all I need to do right now is just go and invert this. I'm going to choose green. That's what I'm going to have. Now, I want to know how I'm going to animate this in the right way. Well, what I could do, if you saw the real piece, what I could do is I could go and slice this myself with a mask. But that's not pretty. That's not really a good way of doing it. So the first thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to use an effect called radial wipe. So what is this effect? It's basically an effect that you animate like this, like a clockwork. You can do it counterclockwise, or you could do both. But I'm just going to stay with clockwise. And this is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to do a slice here, like this. And I'm just going to offset it here. Let's go back to the beginning. And I'm just going to offset it here. Okay? So it starts there. I'm going to say 90. Whoa. Let's just do an 87. Perfect. So, no. Okay. So, I'm going to do start transition there. Start transition, start angle. All right? And start angle. Now, after a while, I'm going to change this to be here. And in the same time, I'm going to make this smaller. And then I'm going to move a bit. And then I'm going to change this to be here. And then I'm going to move it smaller. And then I'm going to go all the way here. I'm going to change this to be here. And then I'm going to move a bit and change this to be here. And then obviously, I'm just going to change this to be 100%. All right, so obviously I don't want it to be animated this way. It's just horrible. So what I'm going to do is that I want it like, it's like, you know, it's like it cuts. So I'm just going to hold the keyframes. So I think we could have brought it a bit earlier. So I'm just going to take everything here. Just going to bring it like that. And same thing with this. I'm just going to bring it a bit closer. All right, let's go. Just this last one. All right, cool. That's it. Now I'm just going to take this, make it follow this. So whatever I change to this, you know, that one is going to follow as well. So the only thing I want to do here is I'm going to go to 100%, and then in the beginning it was maybe 110. And I'm just going to bring this like that. All right. So these are just final touches that you do experiment while doing this. No, I think it's just enough now. All right, so that's pretty much it. Cool. There's a lot of things that you had to take off from this tutorial. First thing is the workflow. Second thing is you do not have to do something. If everything can be parented to something so that you can change it and move fast, you should do that. Another thing is the offset. The importance of having an offset in your work. It adds more depth. It adds more value to everything that you do. And other than that is, you see the workflow that I go with the most important thing, and then I keep going slowly to the details. So I don't have to start with the details first, just the most important thing. For example, in the beginning, as you could see, we started with the big circle, and then the other circle, then the eye, then the eye, then the eye, and then we started adding more and more complexity to the scene. So yeah, there is, for me, to be honest, there was no need for doing a part 4, because this is nothing that needs to be discussed in terms of tutorial, because I have shown you everything that you need to know about this. So you just have 3 path, 3 batch, offset, scale, and rotation. So it's pretty easy, it's pretty straightforward, and we have done this already. Like you can see the paths, so we have done that already. And yeah, there'll be more tutorial coming up soon. My name is Mr. Poppo. I hope you enjoyed tutorial. We are Poppo, and I'll see you guys later.